Every day, I see people struggling to maximize their Boss Brawl scores. You might be thinking to yourself, how do those guys get 20 trillion damage? Well, they have end of game accounts with an unbelievable set of heroes. And while you won't be able to achieve that, you can always improve your score by focusing on the little things. And so that's what this video will go over. All the little things that I found to improve your Boss Brawl score. It turns out, there's a pretty straightforward strategy for eking out the highest scores. But what do those extra points gain you? Well, they'll give you access to the big game hunter faster, with a solid set of globals. He's also just a lot of fun to play. So if you're looking to collect every hero, these tips and tricks will make the grind a little bit faster, and hopefully a lot more fun. I'll walk you through my build, I'll walk you through my jewel setup, and then I'll go through kind of my strategy going into Boss Brawl generally. So real quick, I just set up my jewels and my equipment. So I go for Rogue, Ranger Boots, and Wizard Ring. Given the new nerf to Boss Brawl, you actually want to equip the Rogue Ring now instead of the Wizard Ring. Before, you needed the multiple to Frozen Horde from the Wizard Ring, but now you need the multiple to poison damage from the Rogue Ring. I go Ranger Boots because I don't mind picking up experience. If you have enough cooldown, or you can substitute out Wizard Boots to collect XP for you, and then you don't have to move around as much. But I personally like Ranger Boots. On the jewel side, it's the standard kind of max DPS, so it's vulnerability, projectile M, projectile P, cooldown to 60%. So the boss's cooldown, in Boss Brawl, the cooldown max is 90%, and you get 30% from the cooldown tome. I run area of effect on Warlord only, just as a way to make sure that like more of his attacks hit the boss. And then movement speed is actually really important. So when they nerf bosses so that they don't get slowed anymore, they run fast. And so I run 1 movement speed, make sure I don't get hit by the boss. And then critical strike until critical strike hits 100% in the stats screen. So other heroes, I will switch out the area of effect for more critical strike in order to get them closer to the cap of 100. I will also say that before I do a Boss Brawl run, I always go and I look at past boss runs for the boss on YouTube. So Wave is the best source for this. Wave is one of the best players. He's retired now, but he uploaded every single boss fight and when the revives are, which is the most important part of the fight. So you can go and like watch him to get a sense of when you're gonna need to revive. You can time from the time the boss dies until he hits vulnerability before you go in, so you can like mentally prepare. At least that's what I do. I usually run like not my best heroes right away. 1 for practice, and then 2 because usually the end of the week you'll have like some more power-ups. So I'll start out with somebody like Assassin maybe. I mentally prepare before I go into these runs, so I know what's coming. Like kind of visualizing what's gonna happen before it happens as a way to like be ready for it. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm looking for burning as best I can with Assassin, and I didn't get it in the first 2. So this is like suboptimal start. I might just like quit and come back, but that's what you can do. So if you give up in the first 10 seconds, you get refunded your ticket and you can try again. Because that was a mess of RNG. I got basically no weapons I wanted there, which is fitting for the very first go. All right, so Pitchfork. Evolving his main weapon is like also pretty important. I don't use Flame Striker because I'm gonna get burning from somewhere else. I don't have like the set of special weapons leveled up yet to the point where like I'm like losing anything from just taking something that has burning in it. What I didn't focus on enough during this live run was status effect multipliers. The goal with your build is to get every status effect you can in order to maximize your damage against the boss. Because you're hitting the same target over and over again, those status multipliers stack with each other. So you're looking to get poison, bleed, burning, and if you have it, expose all on the boss at the same time. That'll allow all of your weapons to maximize their damage. The easiest one to get is poison, but it only comes from poison darts, so you're gonna have to grab that in your build. And then burning is the second easiest to grab, as a lot of heroes' weapons and the base weapons have those once they get forged up to level 1 or 2. After that, bleeding is super hard to come by, and expose is incredibly rare, really only found in Slingshot and in Cow Whistle. Man, my RNG on these first 2 attempts is not great, but let's just give it a shot here. Cooldown is the most important tome you want to grab. Let's see. Okay, so Dynamite, Slingshot, and Expose. So there's the big attack that the Goblin Robot does. It's his big thing is the sets of rockets and machine guns he shoots at you, and you have to avoid those because they like instant kill you. All right, and then I need burning. So this is a pretty decent setup. This is like my pretty standard Boss Brawl setup for a hero like Assassin who gets poison and bleeding built in. Like, I'm going to get Burning from Arcane Staff, Exposed from Slingshot, and then my goal is to evolve Boar as fast as I can after my main weapon. And if I get to evolve a third, it'll be Slingshot, it looks like here, but I probably won't, because I'm probably not going to have enough experience, but we'll see. All right, so for the boss and rage timer here, the key is actually just to stand right in front of them. Kind of as dumb as this sounds, the best place you can stand is like right here. And usually I'll get clipped by like one machine gun pellet, but not the more important one, which is the rockets, which will just instant give you. See right there, I evaded one rocket or one machine gun pellet, but if I had taken it, it would have been fine. I have enough health to live through it. I'm a little rusty at Boss Brawl, so I'm not like pushing it right now, but ideally I should be like doing this at half health. You have a talent where for every percentage of health you're missing, you do increase damage. And so your goal is to actually do this run at as little health as you can if you want to like really push and max your damage. So later runs I will do that, but on my first one I'm just like trying not to die right now. And so I will focus more on like optimal like health percentages later in the runs. It's also important to know like which revive you're going for. So reviving, like letting yourself die at the optimal time is the key to maxing your score at Boss Brawl. And my goal here is to die in the last one, which comes around like 14 seconds, 20 to 14 seconds. Again, I watched Wave's video before this to make sure that I like had a sense of what was coming at me, because I haven't done Goblin Robot in a month, as we all haven't. And so I want to make sure that I know what I'm shooting for. I also then look at like from the time it dies to the time that the vulnerability comes, how long that is, so that I can better time it when I'm in game. So I have like 7 seconds between the time he enrages, the range ends, and he pops. Again, your goal is to like stand in front of this guy and not move. You're basically like a T-Rex. I think this is the spider pig strategy, where you pretend he can't see you if you don't move, and you just stand right in front of him and try not to move. Yeah, and Assassin auto targets, so like all I have to do is just make sure I don't get hit by stuff right now. Other heroes, you have to like turn around and stay close to the boss. And all right, so I took damage there on purpose to just try and start doing a little bit more damage if I can. But other heroes, you have to like orb walk as best you can when like turn and face the boss. All right, so here's the most important part of the run in a second. So this revive is the revive I think I want to die on. So I'm going to try and die here right after. So I'm going to try and get gipped by one of the projectiles, which I missed both of them. But then I want to die about 7 seconds from now. So let's see if I can die. Nope, that's going to be bad. Oh, come on, buddy. Die. Well, that went about as poorly as it could have gone, but such is life. And I don't think this point came across enough in the live run, but you really need to time your revive rage. Getting the right revive rage can have an impact of up to 25 to 50% higher scores for you. So getting that perfectly timed is what separates the best Boss Brawl players from the mediocre. Here are the revive rage timings I try to hit for each of the 4 bosses. For Death Knight, it's at the 24-second mark. Around the 30 to 27-second mark, he gets enraged, and at the 24-second mark is when he becomes vulnerable. That should be late enough in the run so you have everything maxed out. For the Monkey King, or Donkey Kong as I call him, you're shooting for actually around the 1 minute mark. Around 1 minute and 14 seconds he gets enraged, and that should wear off around 1 minute and 2 seconds or so, and that's what you're trying to hit for your vulnerability phase. For Storm Elemental, you're trying to hit vulnerability around 30 seconds. The trick with it is you want to proc the vulnerability such that it blows up the tower with the vulnerability phase. That way you're actually maximizing the total uptime. It's really hard to do, but with enough practice you can make it happen. Lastly is the Goblin Robot. This guy's a mega pain in the butt, but you can actually always guarantee the right time for your revive. It happens around the 30-second mark, he'll do his explosion of damage, and it'll leave a pile of fire on the ground. What your goal is to wait 5 to 7 seconds and then run into the fire with him on top of you, and you should be able to revive right when the vulnerability starts. Again, this will take some practice, but as I'll show you here, you really want to utilize that fire so that you can guarantee the right time for your revive. And these revive timings are the most important part and the most advanced part of Boss Brawl. Projectile, I need to run into the fire. Alright, so I'm running into the fire here. Cool. Perfect. Alright, so running into the fire is a very strategic way to get yourself killed. Good to know. And standing on the boss is totally fine with her too. Run away. Okay, cool. That was good. That was a good ending. I ran the last 4 super clean. So 4 out of 10. Nice. That's actually a pretty solid score. Prophecy Ords did some work. Anytime a hero outpaces Spiky Boar, then you know that their main weapon is worth taking and like maximizing. What did we learn this week? Either you need to take a projectile clip during the last enrage, or you need to kite back into the fire and use the fire as the way to make sure that you die. Otherwise, you just risk the chance of just not dying. But thanks everyone for stopping by. I appreciate it. I now have some better pointers too for dealing with Goblin Robot in terms of like how to like make sure that you die on time. Because again, the revive timing is the most important part of the run, so you gotta make sure that you hit it. And I'm Coles. Please subscribe if you like the content. You can sign up for my Patreon for a monthly HVH giveaway. You can also become an executive producer. The executive producers of this include, and I'm going to say Lady Ikaika's name wrong again because I don't have her video in front of me, Cake Invictus, Riverwind, TheWuba, Krabs, Charlos, Dustin, Jason, Lady Ikaika, Paradox, and just now Ark. So thank you everybody for your support. Really appreciate it. And remember, always do your adventures.